Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation. Today, we're diving into the complete collection of the 48 Laws of Power. This is the first of 14 slides, and I'll be guiding you through the key ideas and insights from this influential work. Over the course of this presentation, we'll explore each of the 48 laws, understanding how they can be applied in various contexts. So, let's get started and uncover the strategies behind power and influence. All right, let's dive into slide 2. Here, we see some of the key laws that guide strategic thinking and power dynamics. First, always say less than necessary. This is about the power of brevity. Sometimes, saying less creates mystery and gives you control over how you're perceived. It's about not giving away too much too soon. Next, Law 4, conceal your intentions. Keeping your true motives hidden prevents others from countering your plans. It's a strategic move to stay unpredictable and maintain the upper hand. Moving on, Law 3. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Friends can sometimes be unpredictable, and they might have their own agendas. Enemies, on the other hand, can be turned into allies or at least leveraged because they're more predictable once you understand their motives. And then, Law 2. Never outshine the master. It's about humility and knowing your place. Making your superiors feel secure ensures they don't feel threatened by your talents, which could jeopardize your position. Finally, the overall theme of this slide is about understanding the subtle art of power. It's not just what you say or do, but how you manage perceptions and relationships. Recognizing these laws helps you navigate complex social and professional landscapes more effectively. Let's talk about making others come to you, and sometimes that means you need to use bait. It's about creating attraction or interest so people seek you out naturally. When you do this effectively, you position yourself as someone worth paying attention to. Moving on to Law 8, which emphasizes getting others to do the work for you, but always taking the credit. It's about delegation, yes, but also about ensuring your role remains visible and recognized. The key is to leverage others' efforts while maintaining your reputation as the leader or the mastermind behind the success. Then we have Law 7, court attention at all costs. In the realm of influence and power, visibility is crucial. If people don't notice you, they won't follow or listen. So it's essential to stay in the spotlight, whether through achievements, unique traits, or even controversy, anything that keeps you relevant. Finally, Law 6 highlights how much depends on your reputation. Guard it with your life. Your reputation is like your armor. Once damaged, it's hard to repair. Building and protecting it ensures others see you as credible, trustworthy, and powerful. All of these laws connect to the larger theme of this part of the presentation, understanding how reputation and attention serve as foundational elements of influence. Mastering these concepts means you can strategically attract, maintain, and leverage attention and reputation to achieve your goals. Now, let's delve into some powerful strategies for gaining influence and control. Using selective honesty and generosity can be incredibly effective in disarming your victim or opponent. By being selectively truthful and occasionally generous, you create a sense of trust and rapport that makes it easier to influence them. It's about making them feel safe and understood, which then opens the door for your deeper intentions. Moving on, it's essential to learn how to keep people dependent on you. Dependency is a key element in maintaining power. When others rely on you, whether emotionally, financially, or professionally, they become less likely to challenge you and more likely to follow your lead. Next, we touch on infection, specifically, avoiding the unhappy and unlucky. Surrounding yourself with negative or unsuccessful people can drag you down or even sabotage your progress. It's important to be mindful of the company you keep, as their attitudes and energies can influence your own. Finally, remember that winning through your actions is far more effective than winning through argument. Actions demonstrate your strength and conviction. Arguments often lead to conflict and resistance, but consistent, decisive actions build credibility and authority over time. All of these points tie back to the overall theme, understanding the dynamics of action and dependence. Mastering these laws helps you influence others subtly and effectively, creating a network of reliance and control that benefits your strategic goals. Now, let's explore how absence can actually be a powerful tool to increase respect and honor. Sometimes, stepping back and giving others space can make your presence more valued and appreciated. It's about understanding that a well-timed absence can elevate your stature and make others more eager to seek your company. Moving on to Law 16, crush your enemy totally. This isn't about petty revenge. It's about ensuring that your rivals are completely neutralized so they can't come back to challenge you later. Leaving loose ends can be dangerous, so thoroughness is key in securing your position. Next, Law 15, pose as a friend, work as a spy. This is about gathering intelligence subtly. By appearing friendly and trustworthy, you can learn valuable information that helps you stay one step ahead. It's a delicate balance, being genuine enough to gain trust, but strategic enough to benefit from the insights you gather. Then, Law 14, when asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest. People are naturally motivated by what benefits them. If you want support, frame your request in a way that highlights how it aligns with their goals or advantages. This makes them more likely to say yes, because they see clear personal benefit. Finally, this part of the presentation, Part IV, Enemies and Absence, ties everything together. It shows how understanding the dynamics of absence, confrontation, and strategic relationships can give you a significant edge. Remember, mastering these laws isn't just about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature and using it wisely to strengthen your position. Let's talk about the importance of not committing to anyone blindly. It's crucial to understand who you're dealing with before making any alliances or promises. Knowing your counterparts allows you to avoid offending the wrong person, which can have serious consequences. Next, I want to emphasize that building fortresses or isolating yourself might seem like a safe strategy, but in reality, isolation is dangerous. It cuts you off from valuable information and support, making you more vulnerable. Then, there's the tactic of keeping others in a state of suspended terror by cultivating an air of unpredictability. When people don't know what you'll do next, they're less likely to challenge you or undermine your position. All of these points tie into the broader theme of this part of the presentation. Understanding and controlling the atmosphere around you, whether through strategic relationships, avoiding unnecessary isolation, or maintaining an unpredictable edge. By mastering these laws, you can create a powerful environment where others are hesitant to oppose you, knowing that unpredictability and careful awareness are your tools. Now, let's look at some of the key laws in this part of the presentation. First, Law 24, play the perfect courtier. This is about mastering the art of finesse, politeness, and subtlety in court politics. It's about knowing how to navigate social hierarchies smoothly and making yourself indispensable through tact and diplomacy. Next, Law 23, use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. This might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes surrendering or appearing to yield can actually give you leverage. It's about choosing your battles wisely and turning what seems like a weakness into an advantage. Then, Law 22, play a sucker to catch a sucker, seem dumber than your mark. This is a strategic move to lower your opponent's guard. When you appear less intelligent or less aware, it can make others underestimate you, giving you the opportunity to surprise them later. All these laws tie into the overall theme of deception and courtship. They show us that in social and political maneuvering, sometimes the most powerful move is not what you openly show, but what you cleverly conceal or project. It's about understanding human nature and using it to your strategic advantage. Let's dive into this part of the presentation with a focus on taking action with boldness. This is Law 28, and it emphasizes the power of acting decisively and confidently. When you step into a situation with boldness, you inspire trust and create a sense of inevitability around your goals. Now, moving on to Law 27, which is about playing on people's need to believe. This is a crucial element in building a strong following. When you tap into what people want to believe in, Whether it's a vision, a cause, or a leader, you can cultivate a cult-like loyalty. It's about creating a shared belief system that unites and energizes your followers. Next is Law 26, recreate yourself. This reminds us that we are not fixed entities. Reinventing ourselves when needed can open new doors and give us fresh perspectives. It's about constantly evolving and adapting to stay ahead and maintain influence. Finally, this part of the presentation is all about the theme of recreation and boldness. It's about having the courage to act boldly, to inspire belief, and to continuously reinvent ourselves. These principles are interconnected. They fuel influence and power when applied thoughtfully and confidently. All right, as we move into this part of the presentation, let's focus on how to influence others effectively. The first key idea here is to play to people's fantasies. People are often drawn to dreams and ideals they hold close, so understanding and appealing to those fantasies can be a powerful way to sway their perceptions and decisions. Next, Law 32 emphasizes controlling the options. This means you want to give others a choice, but the choices are carefully limited to what benefits you. By doing so, you guide their decisions without them feeling manipulated. They're simply selecting from the cards you've dealt. Then we have Law 31, which is about making your accomplishments seem effortless. This is crucial because if your successes appear natural and easy, it increases your credibility and makes your achievements even more impressive. People love to see someone who makes success look seamless, as it feeds into their admiration and trust. Moving on, Law 30 advises us to plan all the way to the end. This is about strategic foresight, thinking ahead to ensure that every step you take aligns with your ultimate goal. It's about controlling the narrative and making sure your actions lead to the desired outcome from start to finish. Finally, this slide falls under part VIII, planning and illusion. Here, we're exploring how carefully crafted illusions and strategic planning can create powerful perceptions. Remember, understanding these laws helps us see how influence is often built on a mixture of truth, perception, and well-placed illusions. All of this ties back to our overall theme, mastering influence by understanding human nature and using it to your advantage. On this slide, we see a few powerful laws that tie into the overall theme of mastery over influence and perception. First, Law 36, disdain things you cannot have, emphasizes that sometimes the best revenge is ignoring what we can't possess. It's about maintaining your dignity and not appearing desperate or needy, which can diminish your power. Next, Law 36 reminds us that ignoring certain things can actually elevate our status and control. It's a way of showing indifference that can frustrate others and shift the balance of power in your favor. Then we have Law 35, be royal in your own fashion. This is about acting like a king in your own life, carrying yourself with confidence, dignity, and authenticity. When you do this, others are more likely to treat you with respect and admiration, reinforcing your sense of authority. Following that, Law 34, discover each man's thumbscrew, highlights the importance of understanding what motivates or triggers people. Knowing their weaknesses or desires allows you to influence them more effectively. Finally, the section labeled Part IX, Weakness and Timing, ties everything back to the core idea that mastery involves both understanding human nature and knowing when to act. Timing is crucial, knowing when to ignore, when to act, and how to leverage people's weaknesses at the right moment. Together, these laws remind us that power isn't just about force, but about strategic patience, understanding others, and projecting the right image at the right time. This combination of mastery over emotion, perception, and timing is what ultimately leads to influence and success. Let's take a closer look at some of the key laws in this section. First up is Law 40, despise the free lunch. This reminds us that everything has a cost, even if it's not immediately visible. Always be cautious of offers that seem too good to be true because there's often a hidden price. Next, Law 39, stir up waters to catch fish. Sometimes, creating a bit of chaos or confusion can help you gain an advantage. By disturbing the status quo, you can find opportunities that others might overlook. Then, Law 38, think as you like but behave like others. This is about blending in socially while keeping your true thoughts private. It's a way to maintain your influence without attracting unnecessary attention or conflict. Finally, Law 37, create compelling spectacles. People are naturally drawn to drama and spectacle, so using impressive visuals or events can capture attention and sway opinions more effectively. Together, these laws tie into the broader theme of spectacle and strategy. They show how perception, timing, and understanding human nature are crucial tools in gaining and maintaining power. Keep these ideas in mind as we move forward. Strategy isn't just about what you do, but how you present and influence others' perceptions. Now, let's explore some powerful strategies for disarming and infuriating others using the mirror effect. This technique involves reflecting back people's behaviors or emotions, which can throw them off balance and give you an advantage. It's about turning their own actions against them in a subtle way. Next, we have Law 44, work on the hearts and minds of others. The key here is influence, gaining genuine trust and loyalty by appealing to their emotions and values. When you connect with people on a deeper level, you create a strong foundation that can sway their decisions and perceptions. Moving on to Law 43, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. This is about leadership and influence. If you target the leader or the central figure in a group, the rest tend to lose direction and disperse. It's a strategic move that can destabilize groups or rival factions quickly. Then there's Law 42, avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. This is a caution against directly succeeding a highly influential predecessor. Instead, forge your own path, establish your own identity, and avoid unnecessary comparisons that could undermine your authority or create conflicts. Finally, we're in part XI, the shadows of power. This section reminds us that much of power operates behind the scenes. Understanding these hidden dynamics is crucial to mastering influence and control. Throughout this part of the presentation, we'll see how subtle tactics and unseen forces shape the landscape of power and leadership. All these points tie back to our overall theme, understanding the nuanced, often covert ways power is exercised and maintained. By mastering these laws, you can navigate complex social landscapes more effectively and position yourself strategically in any situation. All right, let's talk about the importance of assuming formlessness, which is Law 48. Essentially, this means you should never be too rigid or predictable. When you set a goal or establish a plan, make sure you know when to stop. Don't push beyond what's necessary. Achieving victory often comes from knowing when to hold back and consolidate your gains. Moving on to Law 47, never appear too perfect. If you come across as flawless all the time, others might feel threatened or envious. Instead, show some humility, admit mistakes occasionally, and keep a little mystery about your true capabilities. This keeps people intrigued and less likely to attack your weaknesses. And then there's Law 46, preach the need for change, but be cautious not to reform too much at once. Change can be powerful, but overdoing it can unsettle people or create resistance. Introduce reform gradually and make sure the team or audience can adapt comfortably. Finally, these laws are part of the broader theme of change and fluidity, part XII. The idea is that in life, in leadership, and in strategy, flexibility is key. Being formless allows you to adapt fluidly to whatever circumstances come your way, making you more resilient and unpredictable to others. So, mastering these principles helps us stay ahead by remaining adaptable and strategic in our approach. And that wraps up our overview of the 48 laws of power. I'm excited to share that the entire series will be airing soon, so you'll have the chance to dive deeper into each of these powerful strategies. To stay up to date and not miss out, make sure to subscribe to SlideWisdom. It's the best way to keep your finger on the pulse of insightful content like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to having you join us for this upcoming series.